Dude, look. That to the rural guitar P.O. box from I don't even know who. Guess we gotta open it though. Is that a clown nose? This is like balloons. What's this? Piece of grass. Is that Brittany and Chris? It's kind of insane. A note that says, I will meet you tonight at midnight, American Legion, Inglewood, Tennessee. From Combs. Remember that guy I was telling you about, that creepy dude, Matt Combs? It's like 30 minutes from Old Hickory. Are we gonna do this? All right, man, we gotta roll up together because this is kind of sketch.
Preparing to meet Combs, I reached out to the musicians in the picture. The reactions were mixed.
All right, man, I think I'm gonna call a few people. I've gotten some leads on some friends of his. I'm gonna try Jason real quick.
Hello.
Hey, Jason, this is Cameron. We haven't met before. I'm just kind of curious. I was online. I saw you had worked with Matt Combs on a couple of things. I was wondering if you, I don't know, if you could tell me a little bit about him. I'm just doing a little piece about him.
Yeah, man, I know Matt. I know Matt Combs. I don't know what to say. Maybe, I don't know. You know, some of those old timers, they like to talk about the ancient tones.
Ancient tones.
Jason's interview didn't go so well, so in an effort to learn more about Combs, I attempted to make contact with Dom Leslie. Hey, Dom.
Hey.
What can you tell me about Matt Combs?
Matt Combs? No, never met the guy.
But I saw you guys in a picture together.
No, that's gotta be AI. Sorry, gotta go.
I made contact with Dennis Crouch and he invited me over. So far, he's the only musician that admits to knowing Combs. What do you know about Matt Combs?
Man, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know.
Ancient tones.
Continuing my fruitless search, I was able to meet with Brittany Haas.
I have a question.
Okay.
Have you heard of this dude named Matt Combs before?
Yeah, I don't want to.
You do know?
I can't
You know
talk
who that
about
is?
that.
I also received a cryptic video from Natalie Haas.
I have never been to clown school. Please stop contacting me.
I think he might actually be trying to open a portal.
After this string of unsettling interviews, we reluctantly went ahead with the meeting.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know, man. We're pulling up to the Legion. I just didn't want to go alone, basically. Hey, man.
Hey, tell you what, I'm gonna need to drive you over there, so if you want to just park, hop out, and get in the car with me. Is that cool?
Oh, damn.
Right this way, my friends. Now, just one thing, for my protection and for your protection, would you wear this for me in the car, just for
like
really both of our safety? Just protection for what we're going to talk about a little bit. There's one more thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm just going to need you to go ahead and put that on. No, it's cool, man. You just go ahead and put it on. All right, hop in.
All right.
Watch the balloons. Watch the balloons. Yeah, those are not, I made those for you, man.
Oh, man.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you good? All right, here we go. This here's Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Nice to see you guys.
All right, Uncle Matty, get on your seatbelt. Let's go. I got him. Boom, boom. Be quiet.
Are we going north?
Man, that's not really important, bro.
I don't think you even need to ask about it.
What is this, like a game of...
Watch the fucking balloons, man.
Is this like a game of 24 questions?
Yeah.
Come on in, there's a big... Step up right now. There you go.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the studio.
Whoa.
Come check it out.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, I built this out a few years ago. It's a garage, and you know, just kind of treated it out. We've been cutting bands here, and
Cool.
yeah, recording stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Got an old Steinway from '65. Oh, hey, don't film that. Don't film that. Excuse me. Yeah, don't, please. Thanks.
Man, but I gotta know. I'm doing well ever since we started corresponding.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some stuff about. I don't want to say a conspiracy theory, because I don't mean that pejoratively, but it seems like you're onto some hip stuff. I'm curious if you can tell me about that.
Well, all right. I think I have what you came for.
Wow.
This is my work. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, when you're dealing with these type of secrets.
Secrets?
Yeah,
Like-
these are secrets, man. I have 3 lines here: black, green, and red. Green is essentially the goodness and the vibrations and the healing power of music and how it cycles through the body and is like a literal chemical pump for dopamine and serotonin in your brain. Music that you really respond to, the way it moves in your body, it just like feels really excellent. Red, it's the color of evil, my friend, because this is not just, you know, good feelings and vibrations. There's been some dark underworld activity happening in music. And then the black line is my own journey through good and evil. I've been through good and I've been through evil.
The black line is you.
Yeah.
Ancient tones.
Let's just open up and, just state the obvious. Anunnaki, ancient aliens, brought vibrational technology to ancient civilizations so they could build things like the pyramids. But this vibrational technology, at the same time, was popping up all through the globe. And anywhere they were putting gut strings over a framed instrument and dragging like a horsehair over it, it created the same kind of magical frequencies that they were working with. The holdover that we get on Earth is the vibrations that we get from music. Amati perfected it. It's the modern violin, and it hasn't changed for 400 years, you know? So he passed it on to Strad. And then interestingly enough, there's an Italian composer named Tartini. He played a Stradivarius violin, and he discovered these things called Tartini tones. They're the resultant frequencies that happen when you combine 2 notes. And that brings it on down to what Amati knew. This is the Fibonacci spiral. That's the construction of the violin in a nutshell. The whole thing is built with this Fibonacci sequence. And flowers, shells, storms, hurricane, use that spiraling thing that happens. Michelangelo, they all use Fibonacci in all their art. You know, it was the basis of like the Italian Renaissance. So it's like at the same time that this was happening, Strad was making fiddles, and they're all based off of this Fibonacci sequence. Because what you end up feeling is the overtone series. Like with these beautifully made, crafted instruments, it's not just one note, it's a whole tapestry of notes. You can keep going over here to like bluegrass, man. Like ancient tones. Bill Monroe used to talk about those ancient tones.
Ancient tones.
Like overtones and that ringing thing. He would hear Uncle Penn's fiddle there behind the house in Jerusalem Ridge. Beethoven's 7th Symphony, 2nd movement, first 3 minutes. It's the most physically healing piece of music because it's filled with all this like tension and release, squeezes your heart and like, oh. So then, you know, we come down here to all the goodness of square dancing. It brings people together intergenerationally and communally. You know, square dancing is the 4th dimension.
Agreed.
Right off the bat, like when something, a force this powerful, that was powerful enough to build the ancient pyramids, is put into an instrument, who's going to come in? Who is it?
The devil?
That's right. And this is where the devil intersected into modern violining. He got that Strad, and he found those Tartini tones. And then famously, he had a dream, and the devil came to him during his dream and played him the most like amazing, beautiful piece he'd ever heard in his life. And he woke up, and he wrote down the devil's Trill Sonata, dictated to him by the devil himself. That is when Tartini aligned with dark forces. Think about Paganini, how incredibly he played. He sold his soul to the devil and could play better than anyone, elevating violin to this like unreachable,
Right.
like, who can play like Paganini? Nobody can play like Paganini. Back to music school, we're going to have to keep this control on it. You know,
Yeah.
how are we going to do it? You institutionalize it. It becomes a fear-based music. You're either scared of the music, because, you know, it's incredibly difficult to play,
Yeah.
music itself, or your teacher, conductors. As an institution goes, for keeping a generalized form of music down, it did it to classical and jazz. You come to fiddling, they're not going to school. They're not learning this in school. I mean, some are now, but, you know, so how are they going to keep the fiddling down at that point? You got to bring in the church.
Fiddling, drinking, dancing.
What's that lead to?
Fornication.
That's exactly what that leads to. And also, like, square dancing used to be taught in schools. Snatched right out. Square dance cover-up.
Yep.
They don't want you in that fourth dimension. So then we kind of bring it all over here to the end, what it turned into.
The deep state.
It was in 1979. And what
The
was that?
devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah. The devil. It's the very story we're talking about. But that's the only fiddle we were allowed to have. An electrified, you know, you've heard it. The April Fool. I was born on April Fool's Day. Yeah, 1975. Started playing violin, you know, early on. I was about 5 years old. This is me at my first violin recital. It's a little clown.
Oh, that was in that box.
My oldest brother, Chris, played the drums. Corey played the bass. And I played the
fiddle?
violin, yeah. And I graduated from high school, and I go out to the Aspen Music Festival. But then during the night, they have this pedestrian mall, and like these street performers and jugglers and clowns are out there, you know, working for tips. And so I'd see this band right here. I'd sit there and watch them and digging on that banjo. I asked if I could sit in, you know, I had my fiddle. They're the ones that turned me on to fiddling. And the other thing about Jeep is, like, besides playing the banjo, he was a balloon clown. He actually, during this first summer, showed me how to, like, tie balloon animals, and that's something I did to pick up cash. And he, you know, essentially showed me bluegrass music. And at the time, I was also studying classical music. It quickly became a lot more apparent who's having more fun. And then I went off to music school. And while I was studying the violin, I met a banjo player at a frat party. I heard him playing the banjo, and I was like, there you are, let's start a band. His name was Enzo. So we started a band called Drivetrain in Ann Arbor. We played the rock clubs around there and really had a pretty good following. I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot of good stuff, but, you know, I also learned what I didn't want to be around. And then I moved to Nashville. Fraser Moss, that was my first contact. He was the dean of the Tennessee Fiddlers. So he introduced me to John Hartford. He brought me over to Hartford's house. I got to meet John for the first time. John introduced me to his rhythm guitar player at the time, Chris Sharp, who's pictured over here, amongst some other musicians. And then Chris turned me on to Benny Martin. Yeah, I got on Benny's phone friends list. Benny had vocal dysphonia. So I asked him, I was like, you know, what happened? He's like, well, I had a heck from a cat. The heck's from a cat, you know, because he was dating a witch, and that's the truth. Chris introduced me also to Kenny Baker and Josh Graves. I played with them on the road. Like, sometimes Kenny wouldn't go, so I'd go and play with Uncle Josh. But then I kind of got more into the old-time fiddling, you know, Ed Haley. John Hartford hired me to transcribe Ed Haley tunes for an Ed Haley book he was working on. And he had Ed Haley's fiddle. And so he would bring it out, you know, carefully opened up, hand it to me, and I would play it note for note of what Ed played. And John would just kind of sit at the far end of the dining room table and just kind of take it in, you know. And then the other thing that happened over at John's house, which is noteworthy, is that John, offhand, he said, you know, one time Vassar Clements told me that, like, the way you tune double stops, 2 notes at a time, is that you listen for the third note. I didn't get it at the time, but it stuck in my mind. We're taking a move over to the dark side, where we meet our friend Jimmy Martin. I got a job with Jimmy. I asked Uncle Josh, I said, I'm thinking about taking a job with Jimmy Martin. You're about to put your head under the lawnmower. He was right. Everyone that knows me and knows Jimmy Martin know me because of this word, hesitating.
I've heard people call you that.
Hesitating. Plagued is the wrong word. Kind of plagued.
Punctuated.
Been with me. Kind of like, you know, maybe like herpes or something. It's just been with me ever since it happened.
It's just there.
Yeah. They were making a documentary while I was working with Jimmy. And, you know, it's like, the stories you've heard about Jimmy are true. You know, he's a wild man. I loved him. Ray Price, back there, I got to be a Cherokee cowboy for a while.
Who's that?
Well, that is James's daughter, Rachel. You know, of course, Norman and Nancy Blake, James worked with them in the Rising Fawn String Ensemble. You know, fast forward, you know, she grew up, started playing guitar, and so she ended up playing with these three all the time. So I saw them play at the Station Inn. Of course, enjoyed all the music, and then I checked out Rachel and met her, the fine guitar player, like standing up there toe-to-toe with Norman, you know, getting after it. But that's, you know, eventually, she's my wife. We got married. We got three awesome daughters. It's like an Apollonian gasket of relationships.
Interconnection,
Yeah.
for sure.
So at this point, I had a family started. And in an effort to stay home, I was thankfully offered the job to be the staff fiddle player and mandolin player for the Grand Ole Opry, which afforded me to be able to stay home with my family and go work Friday, Saturday, Tuesday nights out there at the Grand Ole Opry. Hell, I even kicked off Footprints in the Snow with Charlie Pride. That's a high moment. I backed up all the artists that came through that needed what I did. Working with recordings, you know, you're trying to play the part that's on the recording. You know, that's the gig. So after learning a lot about making charts and learning how to learn things quickly, I found myself really kind of wanting to do more creative work that wasn't just recreating something else that's already happened. I wanted to make something new. So kind of took a leap of faith, and I quit the Grand Ole Opry in '16 to maybe open up a window for some more creative work to be happening, and thankfully it did. The first guy that brought me into doing string arrangements, I came back around to doing classical-ish music, violin music, Dave "Fergie" Ferguson. He was a protege of Cowboy Jack and was Johnny Cash's engineer. I've known him forever, and he called me up and said, Hezzy, bring your fiddles over. And I didn't know where we were going, but he was working with Dan Auerbach, and that was the first string thing that I did was with Dan and Ferg. So that kind of opened up a whole new world of working for me, and it was great because it was creative. It used a lot of my skills, like as a violinist, you know, but then also as an improviser from fiddling, learning how to fill in a song. I mean, that's essentially what string parts are, is you're filling, you know, finding your little spots. So it's a culmination of some different skill sets together, and I found it to be like really rewarding. You help out an artist by making their music sound more like what they want it to sound like. When I see somebody really excited about what I've done, like that to me is so beautiful to feel. Now I have the urge to write music and to have some type of personal ownership in something that can last as a statement of who I am. And so in January 25, which if you might remember was an odd time in the world, I just start off the day playing long tones, double stops, listening for the moving Tartini tones, just getting into that kind of meditative frame of mind. And I would turn on the recorder, I'd be playing the tunes, and before you know it, these tunes started popping out. And I didn't write them, they just, oh, I'm playing a tune right now. So I collected about 40 of these, and I brought them to my buddy Chris Sharp. So I played him the demos. So I was like, you know, what do you think about this? He showed a level of interest. Okay, he's really into this. That's heartening. That feels good. Just feels good. That's what everybody wants as a writer. He responded to what I was using the music for. This self-expression was helping me to feel better just in my body. I mean, that's why I was playing the music in the first place, was to make myself feel better. And these tunes came out. And so we worked together to come up with the concept for a recording. Really, from the very beginning, we wanted to bring back this. So we started trying to think about this music behaving like that. The first session, I played him the Beethoven, the first 3 minutes. I just want you to listen to this and let this inform you going into the room. And they all kind of got the memo. We want it to be a journey. No click, no headphones, just all in the room, feeling it together. And it has a lot of energy to it that I enjoyed. And I mean, that's the main thing, you know, it's like, it was creative. It brought in all these nice string elements that I've been into. It's healing, and then it's also fun and string bandy and off the cuff and loose and real and very real. Yeah. And letting it be what it is, because it was just a picture of time of something that I wanted to put out, something that felt good to me. So Here's my gift to the world.